Hey everybody, welcome to Ken Knows Gambling, and this is part 2 of my 3-part series on the $75 Don't Calm. And what this video today is going to be about is we're going to be addressing the holes, and I'm going to sort of be talking out loud as I think about it. I haven't even decided exactly what my tweaks are, but by the end of this video, I'm going to pick my tweaks. And so then my next video, part 3, I'm actually going to roll it, win, lose, or draw. Now, let's just keep in mind what this strategy is. It's a right side system. You're betting the calm. You're betting the box numbers. You're betting the pass line. You got one little bitty piece of money sitting back here to protect some of the stuff. But make no mistake, this is a right side strategy. Now, all that being said, I'm not a right side player. Never claimed to be. I'm a dark player. Always have been. Always will be. I'm not telling y'all, even whatever I tweak, I'm not saying I'd ever play it. But it intrigued me enough, and I didn't have any subscriber requests or anything like that. I thought, why not? I'm going to do a 3-part series on this, and it's supposedly the #1 watched crap staying on YouTube. So I'm just giving my 2 cents. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Okay, so as I come up with these tweaks, and tell you what I think I'm going to do, obviously, go ahead and comment or whatever. But on my next video, could be tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to roll it. Win, lose, or draw. I just wanted to share with you, and then I'm going to rate it at the very end on my next video. So let's go ahead and start out. Now, I'm not going to roll yet, but I do have my rack set up. I will, tomorrow or the next day when I actually roll it, we're going to do 500, 400, there's 9, 10, 11, let's see, 500, 6, 7, 8, 9, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $1,125. So I'm scaling this way back. I guess some of these guys did it at 500 or whatnot, but I'm not, because I'm going to share with you some of the possible tweaks that I'm going to make, and I will make them by the end of this video, and I'll roll them out on the next video. So give me a second. I want to look at my camera just to make sure it's all running. It's good. Looks good. I think I fixed the problem, and so that's a good thing. All right. So let's just look at it line by line. So pass line, $10 is going to go there. I'm not messing with it. I ain't putting an 11 out or 11 and 7 win, but I'm not putting crap number. $10 ain't worth it, okay? You could, but I'm not. So there's the first thing I'm not doing. Here's the big matzo ball. So in this strategy, thus they call it the $75 don't come. They're going to put $75 on the don't come. Man, your nuts are out, okay? But I thought to myself, and when I get there, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. So let's just say it travels to the 8. Doesn't really matter right at the moment. Let's say the 10 is the point. Then they're going to put $10 on everything they're not touching. Let's go ahead and get this out to where it's supposed to look when we get done with it. So there's $42. There's $10 in the calm. And then there's $30 odds. This is the way it's supposed to look once that DC travels. All right, here's where I'm thinking. Right now, if the 7 comes, you have 42, 52, 62, 70, you have $82, but it's covered with 75, 85. You would win $3. Here's my initial thought. Instead of putting 75 out and maybe winning $1 to $3 if the 7 comes out, to me, 75 versus 100 means nothing to me. How about the first tweak, We get rid of the 75. Now we make it 100. So this, if I decide to do this tweak, would now become the $100 don't come. Why am I even thinking this way? Well, now if the 7 comes, okay, I know it's $25 more up here at risk. I get it. But if the 7 comes right now, we had $82 out there. So now I would have 110, 82, 92, 02. How much is that? 110, 82, 92, 02, 28 bucks. I would win on that 7. And my logic is, since there's not much difference, if you got the bankroll flipping for 75, you got it for 100. So there's the first tweak I'm thinking about making it a 75 to 100. All right. Now, here's another thing that I've got to look at. Let's go back. All right. Let's go back. If there's a point established, now you're putting out that DC, big matzo ball. You actually have about 2 choices right now. You let that thing stand on its own and let the 7 and the 11 beat you, or you hedge it. There is the 2 options that old Uncle Ken is faced with right this second. Well, if you let it go bare and it gets hit a couple times, that's going to hurt. Okay? So here's what I was thinking. All right. So this wouldn't necessarily be here yet because the DC ain't out. So just pretend that ain't here for right. It would be just a pass line in this right at the moment. All right. So I sit here and I have $100. If I don't want it to go naked out like that, then I have to do something. And here's what I was thinking. You know how everybody knows that Ken likes laying the 4 and the 10. Why? Because there's only 3 ways to do it. And, you know, it's just a good bet to me. However, let's go ahead and put the $200 on the no 10. Well, minus the VIG now, $5 VIG, whatever. This would now protect this, okay? To make this from 3 chances to 2 chances, you could sit here and put a $25 for 7 to 1 up here. Okay, maybe you don't even need 25, so just bear with me for a second. It could be 20 bucks, 7 to 1. You could actually probably do 20. All right, so you got $220, and you're going to be covered with on that. I think you just let the 11 go. You could hedge it too, but I don't think I will. So, if you do the 10 with no hard way, there's 3 ways. All right, I want y'all to follow this logic, and y'all comment on me if you think I'm, full of shit. All right, 3 ways. Let's forget the hedge for a second. 3 ways for me to get beat. Now, true enough, boy, if you roll that 10, that 200 is going to hurt. So let's see what happens if you slide it down to a 9 or 5. Well, if you slide it down to a 9 or 5, now all you need is 150. Same big, same everything, but now it's 150 to win that same 100. There's 4 ways to make a 9 or a 5. There's no way to hedge that thing. 4 ways, okay? But it's going to cost you 150 plus that VIG. All right. Now, here's where you guys might think I'm nuts, but at least listen to my logic. If I come back to a 6 or an 8 lay, all right, so I only have to lay 120 to win that 100. But I know what you're saying. I hear you through the camera. There's 5 ways to make this bad boy, okay? So now, if I put a 120 there, but now go put 15 on the hard 8 at 9 to 1, okay? So, let me get my trusty calculator. 9 times 15, that's $135. That would cover this 120. Okay, if an 8 hit, that would cover it. Now watch. All right, 120 plus 15 is 135. 120 plus 15, and I have brought this down from 5 chances to lose to 4 chances. Okay? 4 chances to get hit. 4 possible combinations. Well, the 5 or 9 has 4 possible combinations, but I got to put $1.50. Okay? The way I've done this, now the 6 or the 8, I brought it down to 4 possible outcomes to beat me, but I've saved $15 in the process. Now, you with me? Go ahead and calculate that if you want to. But if I lay the 6 or the 8, it's the same thing as me doing a 5 or a 9. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that like laying the 5 or 9. It's the same thing as the 5 or a 9 as far as odds of getting hit, but for way less money than the 5 or 9. $15 I save here. So I think, as stupid as that might be, because everybody, I know Greg over at 555 Crap says, oh, Ken hates the 6 and 8. He never lays. Well, Greg, never say flipping never, brother. So I'm thinking about laying the 6 or the 8 for this $100. So there's the first tweak. I've made it 100 instead of 75. Second tweak, because I know when this system was built, you know, the guy would hedge, and then there are some people who played it who didn't hedge. And that's going to be up to you. That's why I'm doing this with this video, telling you what you can't do, and then what I'm going to end up doing and why. So when this comes out naked, I'm going to lay the 8 or the 6, okay? I only need it for one flipping roll. That's all I need it for. All right, let's say the DC goes ahead, you know, and it went to the 9. We'll just say that the 10 is still the point, whatever. So then I get to take this off, and I get to take my hard way off. I got this bad boy out. Okay, so that's how I think I'm going to bring him out, just like that. Okay, now that being said, we would readjust because we're touching the 4 numbers that is not the point or my leg. So we'll move this over here, and we'll cap it. So now we got $44, 54, 64, 74, 84 versus 110. Okay, the other way had been about 84. I mean, it just barely squeaked through. And I thought, well, if you're going to lay that much, freaking lay the extra 25, maybe win on that. All right, so I think, to me, I fixed a couple of these matzo balls, okay? Now, we got to fix this unlimited calm press. Because here's the problem to me on this one. If this 10, I don't care if it comes to the 4 or not, okay, you win $18. Okay, perfect. They would pay you $18. Okay, this will go behind the 4. This comes down. They paid you $18. Well, the way that I've seen it on film is you keep the 10 here, you take 10 of your winnings, you press, and on the 4, you would rack $8. Okay? Now, if it was, say, the 6 or the 8, let's look at that. If it was the 6 or the 8, this would travel to the 6, this would come down, that 12 would pay, you 14, which is this right here. Okay? He's still taking 10 and keeping it, 10 and pressing, and he'll keep the pennies. Okay? And so every time that comes up, he's pressing it by a unit. In this case, $10 is the unit. Eventually, you have, I don't care that you did it on winnings. I don't care. You may have 10, 12, 15 bucks of pennies, you know, that you've won through the process, but then it gets whacked. And then all that money that you could have done something else with goes away. I know what the thing is designed to do. It's designed to press and make a whole bunch of money if you get a good roll. I get it. I do. I'm just not a fan. So here's what I'm thinking about doing. So let's put the money back. Like so. What I'm thinking about doing is this. I'm going to take 2 hits before I do a damn thing. I'm just not going to press to the walls from get-go. I'm just not going to do it. I do see the logic if you have good rolls, but most rolls don't go that long. So what I'm going to do is, let's say the 4 hits. The 10 travels. I get paid $18 down here. Like so. Guess what? I'm taking $18. Okay? Now, let's say the 5 hits. This goes to the 5. This drops down. That's going to pay 14. All right? I'll leave the 10 up here, but I'm going to take the 14. Now, what have I got now in those 2 hits? 15, 20, 25, 30. I've got $32 now in profit. Okay? Now I can start pressing. But am I going to full press? No. I'm going to half press. Even if that, because I can put 10, 15, 20, 25. I can put anything I want to lay odds on the 4 or 10. I can put anything I want to on the 6 or 8 because it's $6 to every 5. Easy peasy. It's the 5 and 9 that they have to be even. So I'm going to start half pressing. Okay? So once I get to this point, let's see what that would look like. Okay? Let's say the 5 hits again. Okay? I've got my 2 locked up. Okay, so this comes down, this comes back up. Okay, I win $10. Okay, so now on the 5 or a 9, this is what I'm doing, a 5 or a 9. Okay, I don't want to just press. I've taken 2. I don't want to just press. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 5 and say let's go with $16. Now it's evened out. That's 2 sets of 8. So now when this gets hit again, 8, 8, 8 is 24. I'm going to half press. Okay? And then I'm going to rack the 5. Okay? Now let's say that the 10 hits, or the 4 hits again. Fine. Remember, I've got my 2 hits. I brought them down. So this comes down. This comes up. I get paid the 10. Okay, instead of the full press, half press. Keep a nickel. I'm going to keep taking money, okay? But at the same time, I'm still building this up, just slower. You're not going to make as much money, I guess, on a 10 roll, whatever. But most rolls don't go that long. I'm not worried about those monster rolls. If I get one of those monster rolls by half pressing, eventually I'm going to get there. Eventually, I'll get there. But I've been taking money all this time, okay? So are you with me there? Okay, so that talks about half pressing, going to take 2. I think that's what I'm going to do up here. Okay, the last and final matzo ball. It's that bad boy right there. When I lay a 10, a 9, 6, 8, most of the time it's a 10, it's for 1 hit and it's down. I don't want to press my luck here. Okay, but this strategy makes this bad boy lay out here forever until that 7 comes. I think that's a problem. I do. I don't want to just keep this out here forever. So here's what I think I'm going to do. A lot of people don't know you can take that DC down. I'm not saying it's the smartest thing in the world, but you can. A lot of people say you can't. You can't take a combat down. You damn sure can take a DC down. But I'm going to have to really watch my rack. Really watch my rack. Once I've made, say, $100 profit or $75 profit, I can take this 100 and change it into 50. Bring my risk down. Once I see my bankroll is coming up, I don't need all that $100 anymore. Okay, so I'm going to watch very closely, bring this down. And I may never go lower than 50, but I'm going to bring it down some as my winnings come up. Okay, so those are my tweaks, ladies and gentlemen. Everything else, I'm going to roll this either tomorrow or the next day. Now, I will tell you that we went to my in-laws for Christmas. And I guess my wife's cousin and husband now has COVID. Now watch this shit. They have COVID. Everybody in that house now has COVID, right? My two daughters tested positive for COVID. Everybody that was there now has tested positive for COVID. Well, I ain't getting tested, and I got my reasons for it. I've already had my shots, but there is no such thing as flu anymore, right, ladies and gentlemen? Everything's COVID. The flu's went away. It's all COVID. And all these home tests that you take, I think they're geared. I think this is so fucking political, it just makes me puke. And what they have said, all these variants, the more variants that come, the weaker it gets. It might be very contagious, but the weaker it gets. But everything is COVID. It ain't the flu. It ain't bronchitis. It's nothing. It's always COVID. Always COVID. And so I don't have a fever. I don't have symptoms. I've had my shots. I ain't getting tested because I ain't going to get it. That's just the way it is. But I don't know why I mentioned all that. But everybody in my flipping house has it, from two people in Port Arthur, Texas. And so now, the only reason I wouldn't do my third part like real fast, hey, what if I'm wrong? I get hit with it. You know, I know Jacob got hit with it, and I had it 2 years ago, and it hit me pretty hard. But I think because of shot and because I've had it, I think I'm going to be all right. But if for some reason this fucking thing gets me and I go down, that'd be the only reason to stop me from doing my third part. So just keep a watch out on me, I guess, because everybody in a flipping house has it but me. And again, I ain't going to get it. All right. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm pretty much 90% that's what I'm going to do when I roll this thing. I'm going to make it $100 don't come. Now, you guys can tell me if you wouldn't, stupid, smart, whatever. We don't have to agree. But I would, since I'm messing with a right side strategy that I don't normally do, I do want to hear you. I promise you. I was even thinking about, when I have pressed, bringing these 10s to 15s and maybe come up a little bit to help the hedge on the 7 at the same time. You can tell me what you think about that. But I think it's pretty much how I'm going to do it. I'll roll it in the next day or two. I'll start with $1,125, and we'll just make it happen. Okay? So give me comments. Tell me what you think of my tweaks. If you think it's stupid, don't call me stupid, but tell me it's not smart or whatever, because especially on that 6 and 8, I do want to hear what you guys that do right side strategies, what you think about what I've done. But I'm going to roll it next day or two. I appreciate everybody. So that's going to be it for this number 2, volume 2 of this 3-part series. And I'm now going to call it the $100 Don't Come. All right. So until my third video comes, y'all be safe, especially this weekend. Do not drink and drive. Get an Uber, get a cab, designated driver. I don't give a flip. Do not get behind the wheel drinking, okay? Do old Uncle Ken a favor and don't do it, all right? So if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, well, you know what to do on that. Best thing you can do for me, share this video to anybody you think this might help. So we'll do part 3 here in a day or two. For you NFL guys, I'm looking at them right now. This is Tuesday. I'll probably throw up a couple of bowls, even though I say don't bet these bowl games. Don't do it, but I probably will just for the hell of it. But I'm looking at the NFL right now for this weekend, so I'll try to have something up for you by tomorrow night, because I'm still looking at them. All right? So, all right. Well, without any further ado, I'm going to say good night. And until the next time, be great.